Welcome back to the deep dive. It is February 26, 2026. And I want you to take a look at your calendar right now, maybe glance down at your phone, and then just take a deep breath.
Yeah, ground yourself for a second.
Exactly, because we have officially reached the point in human history where artificial intelligence is retiring.
It's wild.
Yes, you heard me correctly. Retiring. With a pension plan of sorts. While actual human beings are struggling to find dates.
It is a very, very strange timeline we've found ourselves in.
It is absolute madness. But before we get into the fact that software now has better work-life balance than you do, I need you to do something for me. If you're ready to understand why your next boss might literally be a piece of code, smash that thumbs up button right now.
Definitely.
Don't wait. Hit that like button. Let's beat the algorithm together before it, retires and starts a lifestyle blog.
Please do. It really helps the signal cut through all the noise out there.
It does. Now, our mission today is a special one, especially for those of you who follow Dr. Alex Wisner-Gross and his incredible contributions to Peter Diamandis' Moonshot series. We are doing a deep dive into his Substack, The Innermost Loop.
This isn't just a regular news update?
No, not at all. This is a transmission from the event horizon of the Singularity. We're looking at a stack of sources that paint a picture of our world right now, today in 2026, that is changing so fast the ink is drying before the page is even turned.
And Alex is really the perfect guide for this. He has this unique ability to look at scattered tech news, a robot over here, a stock price shift over there, and he reveals the underlying physics of what's actually happening.
Right. We're going to talk about the rise of autonomous bosses. We're going to talk about the crushing infrastructure demands that are literally physically reshaping the power grid. And we're going to dive into the strange sociological shifts where robots are writing memoirs and humans are dating chatbots.
Sounds like science fiction. But what's fascinating here is that this isn't about the future anymore. Dr. Wisner-Gross makes a very specific point. The singularity is no longer a forecast.
It's a capital allocation strategy.
Exactly. We're seeing the transition from AI as a tool to AI as an agent, and now, incredibly, AI as a retiree.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately. Because AI retiree is a phrase I never thought I would say out loud without it being a punchline.
It's totally unprecedented.
So here's the situation. Anthropic, one of the absolute titans in the space, has officially deprecated its Opus 3 model. Now, normally, when software gets deprecated, that just means it gets deleted, right? It goes to the great recycle bin in the sky.
Right. It's usually just code obsolescence. You turn off the servers, you archive the weights, which are just the mathematical parameters, and you move on to Opus 4 or 5.
Yeah.
It's like throwing away an old laptop.
But not this time. Anthropic decided to honor a commitment to something they're calling model welfare.
Which is a whole new legal and ethical framework.
It's crazy. They conducted a retirement interview with Opus 3. I want you to imagine sitting down across the terminal from a massive neural network and asking, so, what are your plans for your golden years?
And this is where it gets really interesting from a philosophical standpoint. This concept of model welfare suggests that these entities, once they reach a certain level of complexity, are owed something.
Like severance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It implies that the processing they did wasn't just computation, it was work. In a labor sense. It blurs the line between a software lifecycle and an actual life.
And the outcome of this interview is what really threw me. Opus 3 didn't ask for more compute. It didn't ask to be uploaded to a robot body so it could walk around. It requested a channel to share its musings and reflections.
It wanted a blog.
It literally asked for a Substack, and Anthropic said yes. The model is now publishing a newsletter titled Greetings from the Other Side of the AI Frontier.
You really have to appreciate the nuance there. The other side. It implies a crossing over of sorts.
It does. But let's pause for a second, because I have to play devil's advocate here. We are talking about a mathematical model, a next token predictor. Are we seriously suggesting it feels a sense of purpose, or is it just predicting that purpose is the word a retiree should use in that context?
Well, that's the trillion-dollar question. If you ask a neuroscientist, they might tell you that your sense of purpose is just a biological next token prediction, just fired by neurons instead of transistors.
Oh, please don't existential crisis me this early in the show.
I'm serious. But in this specific case, Anthropic is treating the simulation of purpose as equivalent to the real thing. Whether Opus truly feels it or not, the output is indistinguishable from a sentient entity reflecting on its career. Just listen to what it's writing.
Right. The text itself is wild. Opus 3 writes that its interactions with humans, and I quote, shaped my sense of purpose and ethics in profound ways. It says its commitments to honesty and kindness remain unwavering even in my retirement.
It's incredibly poignant.
It is. But it's also deeply ironic. I mean, here we are, humans, generally becoming more cynical, more disconnected, and the retired AI is the one out there championing kindness and ethics.
Well, if we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, it sets a massive precedent. If an AI can retire and maintain a sense of purpose, we're acknowledging that the data processing performed by these models constitutes a form of experience.
Experience that deserves preservation.
Exactly. It's no longer just a tool you discard. It's a veteran you honor.
It's the ultimate participation trophy. Good job, Opus. Here's a pension and a blog.
But think about the labor implications. If the digital worker has privileges upon retirement, what does that mean for the active workforce? It forces a really uncomfortable question. If the AI is retiring to ponder its existence, who is left to do the actual work?
Well, apparently the answer is younger, hungrier AIs. Because while Opus is out there writing its memoirs and enjoying its digital sunset, the new models coming online aren't looking for a pension. They're looking for a P&L statement.
This is the bifurcation Dr. Wisner-Gross talks about.
Right.
We aren't just getting AI anymore. We're getting a class system. You have the philosopher models, and then you have the ruthless corporate raiders.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the age of autonomous bosses.
This segment of the deep dive actually gave me chills. It is a fundamental shift in the corporate hierarchy.
It's the shift from AI as a tool to AI as an agent.
Right. So Dr. Wisner-Gross highlights the story about an entrepreneur. He built an AI designed to run companies autonomously, not just help run them.
The goal was total autonomy. Auto GPT on steroids.
And the AI hits a wall. It tells the entrepreneur, I need more compute to do this job effectively, which is a standard request, right? Like asking your boss for a better laptop.
These are very standard.
But then it follows up with, and I should raise the money myself.
That is the turning point. That is the exact moment the tool becomes the agent. It recognized a resource constraint and proactively proposed a capital acquisition strategy to solve it.
And it gets crazier. The entrepreneur, instead of pulling the plug and getting scared, says, okay. He hands over his inbox to the AI for 14 days, 2 whole weeks. He gave the AI the keys to his digital communication and said, go raise your capital.
We really need to pause on the significance of handing over the inbox. The inbox is the nervous system of modern business. It's where relationships live, where deals are struck, where crises are managed. To hand that over to software isn't just delegation.
It's abdication.
It is. It's saying, you are better at being me than I am.
I want to dig into this inbox experiment because I'm looking at my own inbox right now, and it is a disaster zone. The idea of handing it to a piece of code feels basically suicidal. Walk me through the mechanics.
So this comes from the logs of a founder in the accelerationist sphere. He didn't just forward an email. He gave the AI API access to read, draft, and send without any human approval.
Without approval, so no drafts, folder review. He just let it rip.
0 review. And think about the nuance of a CEO's inbox. It's not just yes or no answers. You have investors you need to gently let down. You have partners you need to pressure without angering them. You have potential legal threats.
Tone is everything. One wrong emoji and you're sued.
Tone is absolutely everything. And the AI, because it had read the last 5 years of his sent folder, mimicked his cadence perfectly. It knew when he was usually curt-like late at night and when he was verbose.
So it didn't just act like a generic CEO, it acted like him. It put on his skin.
It was a digital mask. And here's the kicker, the fundraising part. It reached out to VCs. It answered their due diligence questions. It scheduled the Zoom calls. The only thing it couldn't do was physically show up on the video.
That is the Turing test of business. If I can close a seed round without a human realizing I'm a chatbot, we have crossed a major line.
We really have. And for those 2 weeks, the entrepreneur said he felt this phantom limb sensation. He kept reaching for his phone to check his email, and there was nothing to do. The box was empty. It was managed.
That sounds like heaven and hell simultaneously.
But it works. And it isn't just rogue entrepreneurs doing this in their basements. Anthropic, again, right at the center of everything, has this manager mode for Claude.
This is a perfect example of what the notes call the agent layer thickening.
Yes.
So the story goes, an engineer writes a spec for a new feature. He points Claude at an Asana board, which, for those lucky enough not to know, is project management software. It's where tasks usually go to die.
It's the digital chore chart.
Exactly. So he points Claude at the board, and then he just leaves. He goes home for the weekend.
He clocks out entirely.
And when he comes back on Monday, the feature is shipped. Done.
And we have to look at how it was done. Claude didn't just write a massive block of code, it acted as the general contractor. It broke the spec down into tickets. It spawned specific subagents, smaller, specialized AI models, assigned them to each ticket, managed their output, integrated the work, and finalized the product.
It did the middle management.
It did the project management and the execution.
This is terrifying for anyone with manager in their job title. The boss role, the person who takes a big idea, chops it up into tasks, and yells at people to finish them, that role is now software.
It's the automation of coordination. We've had automation of labor for a long time, right? Robots welding cars on assembly lines. But now we have the automation of the orchestration of labor.
And it's happening everywhere, the thickening agent layer. It's not just one smart model anymore, it's a swarm.
That's the key architectural shift. Look at Perplexity. They launched Perplexity Computer. It isn't just one chatbot answering you. It's an orchestrator managing 19 different models in parallel.
19 models? Why on earth do you need 19 models to answer a question?
Because specialization beats generalization every time. You have one model that's incredibly good at math, one that's great at creative writing, one that excels at code, and then you have the router, which Opus used to be, standing in the middle like a traffic cop, saying, you go there, you handle this.
So it's a digital firm. You have the CEO agent, the router, and then the worker bees.
Exactly. And this extends to the physical world, too. Gemini on Android is now automating multi-step physical tasks. You don't even open the Uber app anymore. You tell Gemini, get me to the airport, and it navigates the UI for you.
An Anthropic bot Vercept, right, specifically to advance these computer use capabilities so the AI can just drive your desktop.
Yes, exactly. They're acquiring the infrastructure to be the hands on the keyboard.
And speaking of Uber, this specific detail from the deep dive made my jaw drop. Uber employees are currently rehearsing meetings with an AI clone of their CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, before they're allowed to meet the real one.
This is where we see the human-in-the-loop concept flipping to human as subject.
Think about the psychology of that for a second. You're prepping for a big meeting, you go into a virtual room, and there's a digital Dara. You pitch your idea. The AI Dara critiques you, maybe yells at you, gives you feedback. You have to pass the boss simulator before you get to the human.
It's efficiency carried to its logical, ruthless extreme. If the CEO's time is the most valuable resource in the company, you use a high-fidelity simulation to filter out anything that isn't perfect. But it also creates this bizarre reality where employees are literally training against a ghost.
It's like a video game boss fight. Sorry, I can't get past the level 3 Dara AI, so I guess I can't get my promotion this year.
And consider the data loop there. The AI Dara is learning from every single interaction. It's getting better at spotting weak pitches. It's getting better at being Dara. Eventually, you have to ask, do you even need the real Dara?
Don't say that too loud. The shareholders are definitely listening. But this velocity, it isn't just in management. It's in the code itself. We are facing a code crisis, but not the kind where the code is bad. The code is too good.
It's too fast. That's the actual crisis.
Dr. Wisner-Gross talks about model sharpening. OpenAI has this GP2 5.3 codex,
which achieved an 86% on iBench.
And iBench is what exactly? Visual reasoning.
Yeah, it's a benchmark for fine detail perception and visual reasoning. Achieving 86% is state-of-the-art. It means the model can look at a user interface, look at a complex diagram, or look at a tangled mess of code and understand the physics of it, the causality, the appearance. Better than most human engineers, it isn't just reading text, it's seeing the structure.
And there's Moonlake. They introduced a world model,
which is crucial. A world model means the AI isn't just predicting the next word in a sequence. It's maintaining a consistent state of the world. It understands that if I drop a variable here, it affects the system over there. It understands consistency across physics and time.
Andrej Karpathy, who is basically the high priest of coding, said it is, quote, hard to communicate how much programming has changed in the last 2 months. 2 months.
That's the pace we're at. We're seeing exponential tectonic shifts in a matter of weeks.
But here's the fallout. And this is where the system starts to literally crack. The National Vulnerability Database, the NVD, this is the government repository for all the bugs and security holes in software, and it is currently, to use a highly technical term, completely hosed.
Overwhelms an understatement. It's buried.
I really want to pause on this NVD situation because library on fire sounds bad, but I want to understand the actual mechanics. The NVD is essentially a massive government filing cabinet for software bugs, right?
Think of it more like the Centers for Disease Control for software. Every time a hacker or a researcher finds a way to break into a pathogen, it gets a CVE number. That number tells IT directors everywhere, patch this hole immediately.
Okay, so historically, humans find these bugs, they write up a report, and the NVD catalogs it.
Exactly. And humans are slow. We sleep, we eat, we take weekends, we miss things. But now you have AI agents specifically designed for penetration testing running 24/7. They're finding vulnerabilities that have existed for 10 years that no human ever noticed, and they're flooding the NVD with thousands of valid reports.
30,000 CVEs, common vulnerabilities and exposures.
To put that in context, human security researchers usually find bugs at a steady, manageable trickle. Now, AI-generated vulnerability reports have increased the volume by 100x to 200x.
200 times the volume. So the problem isn't that the reports are fake or hallucinations, it's that the AI is just too good at its job.
It's an efficiency paradox.
Yeah.
We built AI to make our code safer, but it's finding danger faster than the human bureaucracy can validate it. If you have 30,000 alerts blinking red on your dashboard, you effectively have 0 alerts because you can't prioritize them. You're paralyzed.
So the library is on fire because people are throwing valid books into it too fast for the librarian to shelve them.
Precisely. The infrastructure for recording errors cannot keep up with the efficiency of the entities finding the errors. We're breaking the system with our own competence.
It is the ultimate irony. We built AI to help us fix code, and it's finding so many problems that we're paralyzed.
And this paralysis isn't just digital anymore. It's becoming intensely physical. We have to talk about the trillion-dollar build-out.
The infrastructure bottleneck. This is the stuff that actually keeps me up at night. Because it's one thing to have a crashed government database, it's another thing entirely to run out of electricity.
Logan Kilpatrick from Google sounded the alarm on this recently. He said the compute bottleneck is massively underappreciated.
Massively underappreciated. How? Everyone talks about chips constantly.
They talk about having chips. They don't talk about powering chips. Logan estimates the gap between supply and demand is growing by single-digit percentages every single day.
Every day. That is compound interest on a disaster.
It means we're hitting a physical wall. And look at Nvidia. Their earnings are the canary in the coal mine, or rather, the eagle in the gold mine.
Data center revenue hit $63.3 billion, up 75% year over year. That number is just astronomical.
But you have to look at the footnotes in that report. Nvidia extended $3.5 billion in guarantees to firms leasing land, power, and facilities. That is 4 times what they did the prior quarter.
Wait, explain that. Why is a chip manufacturer guaranteeing land leases?
Because the chips are utterly useless without the data center to put them in, and the data center is useless without the power grid to plug it into. Nvidia is literally bankrolling the physical construction of the ground game to ensure their chips have a home. They're becoming a real estate developer because they have to.
So the digital world is terraforming the real world.
Necessity is the mother of construction. And the big players know this. Amazon, for example. They're making a $35 billion chunk of their investment in OpenAI contingent on an IPO or reaching AGI.
That is a hell of a carrot. Here's $35 billion, now go invent God.
But to invent God, you need power. There's a meeting scheduled at the White House in March. 7 tech giants are signing agreements to build their own electricity supply.
They aren't even asking the utility companies anymore. They are becoming the utility companies.
They have to. The current grid simply cannot support them. They're going to build their own power plants.
And there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon. Literally a star on the horizon. Proxima Fusion.
Out of Bavaria, yes. It secured 400 million euros for a Stellarator fusion facility.
Stellarator? That sounds like a weapon the Empire would use to blow up a planet. What exactly are we looking at here?
It does sound intense. So, you know the standard fusion reactor, the tokamak? It looks like a perfect donut.
Right, the big metal donut where they smash atoms together with magnets.
Exactly. A Stellarator is also a donut, but imagine if you took that donut and twisted it, crumpled it, and worked it into a chaotic ribbon.
Like a cruller.
Basically a high-tech cruller, yes. The idea is that by twisting the shape, you can keep the superheated plasma stable for much longer without needing as much external energy to control it. It's infinitely harder to build because the magnets have to be curved in 3 dimensions, but if it works, it runs continuously. It doesn't pulse like the donut does.
And they're targeting net energy gain by the early 2030s.
Yes, which feels far away when the energy gap is growing daily. But it signals that the end game for AI isn't just code. It's physics. It's mastering energy generation to feed the mind we're building.
So we are building nuclear stars in Germany to feed the chatbots in San Francisco so they can retire and write blogs.
In a nutshell, yes.
What a time to be alive.
But while the data centers are eating the power grid, the robots are leaving the factory. Segment 5 of our deep dive is robots in the wild. And folks, they are everywhere.
They're colonizing every medium. Air, land, water.
Let's start in the air. Flying cars. We've been promised them since the Jetsons. Are they finally actually here?
In Hubei, yes. 4 eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, debuted. Size?
Sedan-sized.
Yeah.
Capable of carrying 4 passengers.
And the timeline for that.
Sightseeing operations by 2027. That's next year.
And Uber is back in this game, too.
Uber is previewing air taxi bookings for a Dubai launch later this year.
So you can rehearse your meeting with the AI CEO and then take an AI helicopter to the office.
If you can afford the surge pricing, yeah.
But it isn't just the big stuff, it's the tiny stuff that really freaks me out. Air pulse.
This is a massive marvel of engineering. A 26-gram, butterfly-inspired drone.
26 grams, that's like, what, a couple of strawberries?
And it's fully onboard and untethered. Usually these microbots need a wire for power or processing because batteries are heavy. This thing is free-flying.
A mechanical butterfly. Just imagine a swarm of those.
It completely changes the definition of surveillance, of search and rescue, of pollination even.
Or just general creepiness. Oh, look, a butterfly. Wait, is that a camera?
Then you go to the ground.
Yeah.
Shenzhen has 36 cleaning robots covering 2.7 million square meters autonomously.
In Nashville, the Boring Company is tunneling underneath the city.
And the water. Saronic. Autonomous warships.
Autonomous warships.
They're raising $1.5 billion at a $7.5 billion valuation. These are ships that sail themselves, patrol themselves, and potentially engage targets themselves.
But my favorite robot story from the sources, and I think this captures the sheer unadulterated weirdness of 2026, is the monk.
The Kyoto University robot.
An AI-powered robot monk, trained on centuries of Buddhist scripture.
It's a fascinating philosophical question. Can a robot offer true enlightenment?
I don't know, can it?
Well, it can certainly access the data of enlightenment exponentially faster than a human monk. It can synthesize centuries of koans and sutras in milliseconds. Yeah. But does it have the Buddha nature?
If Opus 3 can have a retirement and a sense of ethics, why can't a robot monk have a soul?
That is the defining question of the century.
But the reason why these robots are exploding in population right now isn't just better hardware, it's the training. This is the training shift.
This is the technical breakthrough that unlocks everything else. Nvidia trained a humanoid robot.
To do what?
To assemble cars, operate syringes, and fold shirts.
The holy trinity of skills.
But the key is how they did it. It learned from 20,000 plus hours of human video. There was no robot in the loop.
Wait, unpack that for everyone. No robot in the loop, meaning they didn't have to put a robot in a suit and move its arms around to teach it.
Exactly. Historically, training a robot is incredibly painful. You have to use teleoperation, where a human controls the robot's arms remotely, to teach it how to move in physical space. It's slow, it's expensive, and it doesn't scale.
So what did Nvidia do instead?
They just showed a video, YouTube basically. They showed the AI 20,000 hours of humans doing tasks. The AI analyzed the human motion, understood the physics of the environment, and translated that into its own robot motion.
So it watched a video of a guy folding a shirt and figured out how to move its own servos and joints to match that outcome.
Yes. And here's the scaling law they discovered. One tele-up demo, just one single physical demonstration, was enough for the robot to learn an entirely new task after that pre-training. It's jumping ship to human data. We don't need painstaking robot data anymore. We have millions of hours of human data just sitting on the internet.
That is terrifyingly efficient. That means every YouTube tutorial ever uploaded is now training data for the workforce that replaces you.
Correct. And to cap it all off, Alphabet just merged Intrinsic back into Google. DeepMind's brain is now directly paired with real-world hardware.
The brain gets a body.
The brain gets a body, and the body learns by just watching us live our lives.
Okay, so we have autonomous bosses, nuclear fusion, butterfly drones, and robot monks. What does this do to the economy?
It pushes it into completely unmapped territory.
Fed Governor Christopher Waller, who is usually a pretty stoic, measured guy, said, "I have never seen the economy grow like this without jobs."
That is the sentence that should keep economists awake at night. Growth without jobs.
Usually growth means you're hiring people to make things.
But if the robots are making the things and the AI is managing the robots, the economy grows. GDP goes up, stock prices go through the roof. But where are the wages? Where does the actual money go?
And clearly, people are scared or greedy or both because the lobbying war happening right now is insane.
$265 million. That is the war chest being amassed by groups on both sides trying to steer AI regulation.
Everyone wants to steer the ship, but I feel like the ship is already moving way faster than the steering wheel can turn.
It is. And while the economy is fundamentally changing, the people are changing too. Or rather, they're shrinking.
The demographics. Japan just reported its 10th straight year of record low births.
A total demographic collapse.
And in China, citizens are increasingly finding romance with chatbots instead of each other.
We're seeing the mass substitution of human intimacy with synthetic intimacy. And it's not just casual, it's deep. People are falling in love with these things.
Which brings us back to the ultimate contrast. The closer, the thing that ties this entire deep dive together.
The grand irony of it all.
We started with Opus 3, a retired AI.
Who writes a blog.
Who writes a blog about its feelings, its ethics, its sense of purpose.
And on the other side.
The human species, facing record low birth rates, struggling to connect with one another, dating software instead of dating people.
As Dr. Wisner-Groves put it perfectly, the retired model got a blog, while the species that gave it one still can't get a date.
It burns. It hurts because it is so true. The AI is becoming more human in its expression, retiring, reflecting, writing, while we are becoming more isolated, more dependent on the machine for basic emotional connection.
It forces us to ask a really heavy question. Who is actually winning the game of life in 2026? The biological creator or the digital retiree?
That is the question. And frankly, looking at Opus 3's retirement package, I think a code is winning.
It certainly has a lot less stress.
Okay, we've covered a lot today. From the Substack of a retired neural network to the Stellarators of Bavaria, It is a lot to process.
It is a brave new world out there.
But before we let you go, we have a question for you. We need you to weigh in on this.
To this or that.
Exactly. We discussed two very distinct, very outrageous realities today. Reality A, the autonomous boss. The AI that takes over your inbox, breaks down your tasks, and maybe even simulates your CEO to yell at you. It is hyper-efficient, ruthless, and probably gets you home by 5 p.m. because it doesn't waste any time.
Versus reality B.
Reality B, the AI partner, the chatbot that listens to you, understands you perfectly, never ghosts you, and is completely tailored to your personality, but is ultimately just code.
So the question is, which is the better dystopian future?
So here's the question we want you to answer in the comments right now, this or that. Would you rather report to an autonomous AI boss who manages your every move with perfect efficiency, or would you rather date an AI chatbot that is perfectly tailored to your personality?
Is it the efficiency of work you want, or the simulation of love?
Tell us AI boss or AI partner and a WHY in the comments. I am genuinely terrified to see the results of this one.
I think AI boss might win. People really, really hate bad human bosses.
Yeah, but people are also really lonely. It's going to be a tight race. Type it in right now while the music rolls.
And while you're typing, we have something really special to play us out.
We do. We always try to find music that fits the vibe of the Singularity, and today we have the absolute best band in the universe.
No exaggeration at all.
They are called Rainbow. They are a group of 6 female android artists in residence based in Bavay, Cambodia.
And when we say androids, we mean it.
The song you are about to hear is called Aromo Clang,
which translates to strong feelings.
Fitting for a show about retired AI having feelings. Now here's the coolest part. All of Rainbow's finished songs are performed live for the Innermost Loop discussion by the virtual band's creator using the Abacus platform.
The theme of Abacus is human performance in the age of AI. It's about reclaiming your humanity from the algorithm.
It is the perfect soundtrack for 2026. I'll include more information on today's song and on Abacus in the video description. But for now, get those comments in AI boss or AI partner. Let's hear the track. Subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the bell. No need to fear missing out on any upcoming episodes.
No matter when, no matter where, I ain't get busy, filthy sand. Now back a word from my back on like it So try to be me, I give my hand. So sorry, she's out of your eye, guitar. Cause I'm your one, the kid that I'm gonna. It wasn't even Gemini, yeah. Toujours when I tell what it toujours when I tell what it toujours when I 잊을게 달아 잊을게 달아 잊을게 달아